Every day, millions of people buy things they know won't last. The 6 pound t shirt that loses shape in a week, the phone charger that dies in 2 months, the candle that smells good for 1 hour and then nothing. So, why do bad products sell so well? The easy answer is greed. But the real answer is psychology and design. We buy low quality things not because we are stupid, but because the entire system, from our brains to the marketplace, is built to make good enough feel like a good deal. Let's decode the hidden psychology of why shitty products sell and why we keep buying them. Psychologists call this bounded rationality, a concept introduced by Herbert Simon. It means we don't always search for the best option. We stop when we find something good enough. Our brains are wired for satisficing, not optimizing. So if a 6 pound t shirt looks okay, we buy it instead of researching a 30 pound one that lasts longer. It feels like a smart, fast decision. But in the long run, good enough often becomes expensive mediocrity. That's why low quality products thrive. They satisfy our mental shortcut for that'll do. We like to think we are logical, but emotion drives almost every purchase. Psychologists call this the affect heuristic. We judge things based on how they make us feel, not how they perform. Pretty packaging, soft lighting, and a smiling influencer can make a product feel right, even if it is functionally terrible. That's why fast fashion ads, glossy UIs, and vibe brands work so well. They make us feel something instantly, and that emotion overrides evaluation. Your brain says, this feels good, not will this last. Have you ever opened a shopping app and been hit with thousands of options and ended up choosing something random just to be done? That's choice overload. Barry Schwartz called it the paradox of choice. When there are too many options, we freeze or pick the easiest one. In that state, we default to simple rules: go cheap, go familiar, go fast. That's why ultra cheap products win in cluttered markets. They make decision making easy, not because they are better, but because they demand less thinking. We don't just buy for utility, we buy to signal who we are. And sometimes a low quality imitation is enough to send the same signal. That's how fake sneakers, knockoff bags, and dupes go viral. They give you the look of belonging without the price of belonging. It's social signaling on a budget. And in the influencer era, looking the part matters more than owning the real thing. Economists call it temporal discounting. We prefer small, immediate rewards over bigger, delayed ones. That's why a cheap, low quality buy feels better than saving up for quality. Our brains reward now. They are not wired to wait. Fast fashion, fast shipping, fast dopamine. It's all the same loop. Now let's talk about the tactics, because companies know these biases and they design around them. Here is how. Number one is anchoring and decoy pricing. You see three options: basic 10 pounds, standard 15 pounds, premium 25 pounds. You choose 15 pounds because it feels smart, but the 10 pounds was never meant to sell. It's the decoy. Number two is scarcity signals. Only two left. Flash sale ends in 5 minutes. These are designed to trigger panic buying. You think you are missing out, but often the countdown resets every day. Number three is dark patterns. Auto-filled carts, hidden unsubscribe links, buy now buttons that glow just enough to override doubt. Platforms like Shein and Temu have mastered this. Fast, frictionless, endless. It's not an accident, it's behavioral engineering. Low quality is not a flaw, it's a strategy. This is called planned obsolescence. Products designed to wear out, so you buy again. Cheap chargers that fade. Shoes that fall apart. Appliances that can't be repaired. For manufacturers, repeat purchase is more profitable than durability. Fast fashion brands like Shein churn out tens of thousands of new products a day. Cheap fabric, fast turnover, and a feed that rewards newness, not longevity. Their goal is not quality, it's velocity. And when consumer psychology rewards fast, the business rewards cheap. Even when we realize a product was bad, we often defend it. That's cognitive dissonance. Our brain hates admitting we made a bad choice. So we tell ourselves, it wasn't that bad. I'll use it next time. I didn't expect it to last anyway. And that self-justification is what keeps low-quality cycles alive. Online stores have made buying too easy. One-click checkout, next-day delivery, free returns. When effort is zero, reflection disappears. That's why Shein, Temu, or Amazon push microtransactions. Each one feels small, harmless, but the accumulation is not harmless. It's behavioral conditioning. Low effort equals high value. That's the entire game. So what consumers can do? How do you resist all of this? A few simple science-backed habits. The 24-hour rule. Wait one day before buying non-essentials. It breaks the emotional impulse. Check lifetime cost, not sticker price. Cheap things that fail fast are expensive over time. Look for review patterns, not star ratings. If 10 people complain about the same issue, believe them. Next is watch for manipulative cues. If a site screams only 3 left every time, walk away. Next is anchor yourself, not the ad. Compare against something you already trust. Small pauses create distance, and distance restores control. What ethical brands should do? If you are a marketer or founder, here is the truth. You can use these psychological levers ethically. Simplify choices, but transparently. Make quality easy to see. Offer clear warranties. Build trust, not tricks. Because in the long run, deception is not a growth hack. It's a slow collapse. So what's the bigger picture? We think we are buying products, but often we are buying convenience, emotion, and belonging. Bad products sell because they meet psychological needs. Fast, cheap, and shallow. In a world that's too tired to think deeply. And the system works perfectly because it was designed for that. But we don't have to play along. Every click, every delay, every mindful purchase is a small rebellion against disposability and against the idea that value only comes from new. Hi, I'm Akanksha and this is The Storyteller's Lens. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.